High on a Manhattan mountaintop, busily buzzing are the bees of Versa's garden. Andre, the beekeeper, is busy smoking the hives and tending to the bees. Andre uses smoke to calm the bees and to keep them from stinging him while he checks on the hives.
And what are you looking for?
I'm trying to spot the queen.
Oh, you're trying to find the queen.
Yeah. I see the eggs, but I haven't seen her.
Let's listen here to the beekeeper's wife, Natalia, as she schools us on honeybee life.
Wide as the breath of the wind through the dale, and as thin as a grin on a blade of grass.
In a hive, we have the queen, we have worker bees, and we have drones. The queen job is to basically lay eggs and procreate, keep the hive alive. And she doesn't do any other kind of work. She is there, she's laying eggs, and other worker bees are tending to her, they're feeding her, they're cleaning her. There are some bees who would clean her poop, because the bees, they never poop in the hive. They're very, very clean creatures. They would always go outside. So the queen is the only bee that doesn't leave the hive. She's most of her life, which is 5 years. Say it's a monarchy, but the monarch, the queen, she's not a authoritarian ruler. It's a very interdependent and coexistence way of life, because if you leave the queen apart from the hive, she's not gonna live for more than 2 hours. She needs her hive. The same happens with the hive. They will make new queen, but they need queen to live. And within the hive, the worker bees, they have different roles. And the roles change according to the environment. Whenever the environment needs them to switch, they would switch instantly. When the environment is very peaceful, the role that they would take is when the new bee emerges from her cell. She cuts out the cell, then she cleans the cell. The first job that she does, she cleans her cell. And then she starts the maintenance work within the hive. She cleans, they put propolis along all the cracks so the hive is sealed and protected. The propolis has in itself a lot of antibacterial features, and it also is a very good sealer, so no wind, no other insects can come in. And then there are bees who tend the queen, they feed her, they clean her. There are bees who are security bees, and whenever there is a threat, like a bear coming or a beekeeper who wants to steal their honey, a lot of bees would just turn into security bees. And as kamikaze, they would die in their fight protecting their hive. They only sting once, and this is how they end their life.
Stand close enough to the opening of the pine and plywood constructed hive boxes, and you see many bees flying off in their sacred duty of pollination. But watch a little longer, and you start to notice. Some of the hive exiting bees are simply taking bathroom breaks, or hanging out by the proverbial water cooler, which in this case is a little rain-sodden bit at the seam of the exit. Some bees are obviously security guards, as they are just walking back and forth on patrol. And still, some bees just seem to want to meet a loved one at the entrance on their return. One can see how bee life can be oh so sweet.
And there are also foragers. The worker bees would live up to 42 days, and somewhere in the middle, somewhere when the bee is 23 days, she's allowed to go outside and to forage, to collect nectar, to collect pollen, and to bring water. There are also bees who do like a very basic AC work. Whenever it's very hot, they get outside and they would just flap their wings very fast to cool down the hive. And also drones help keep the temperature in the hives just the right temperature. Because the drones have bigger bodies, they have bigger wings, and they can do it with less effort. When you see the older worker bee, you can tell that it's that she's getting older because her wings get so worn out because of flying. When they go outside, they just fly and work and collect honey. They never stop. Also, it seems like the bees do not sleep.
Wow.
But they do take short naps. Once they're in the hive, they work a lot, but it's not a hectic kind of work. They take breaks, then they will go and work. It's very harmonious. And sometimes when I open the hive, I just see them like this sitting and looking at me. I'm looking at them. And, yeah. And
that's sweet.
Some experienced beekeepers say that you develop a relationship with every hive. Like you sort of, they get to know you. Also, there is absolutely proven fact that bees can be trained to recognize cancer in patients, and they can be trained to find like bombs and all the other dangers of modern world. Yeah, so they get to know you, and they recognize my face. I am almost sure, and these are my first hives. I've never tended to the bees. This is only my husband's knowledge and passion, and I'm following him here.
And he's been in it. How many generations has his family?
Yeah, 5 generations of. A lot of Ukrainians have bees, and he's one of those people. I was a city girl. I grew up on concrete, but I would spend summers in the Carpathian Mountains, and this is when I got attached to nature and to the way of the wise circle of life. And but I got so attached to them as well. Like they're my babies right now.
I bet. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for
Thank you so
sharing.
much.
Natalia.
Yes, Dana.
There is a whole lot to learn from the bees that we humans need desperately to grasp their collective industry, organization and cooperative spirit, effective and responsible governance, cleanliness, and flexibility in skill set. Their pollinating prowess is evidence that bees are true masters of diversity. The byproducts of their biology are some of the best things a human can ingest. Not to mention, they produce food for us that never goes bad. From royal jelly to honey, it is rich in antioxidants and antibacterial properties. Honey can improve cholesterol levels and lower blood pressure, thereby decreasing the chance for stroke, heart attack, and certain types of cancer. Honey improves eye health, promotes healing for burns and wounds, and is known to be effective as a homemade remedy for psoriasis and herpes lesions. There is much to learn about the indigenous Lenape and their relationship with the bees, which began the history of beekeeping in the area. According to the beekeepers' research, there have not been hives kept in Inwood for nearly 50 years. With the shameful use of Monsanto Bayer's devastating Roundup product in our local parks, compounded with the harms of forced installation of 5G radiation and LED lights, there are substantial challenges in sustaining a healthy apian and avian population on its own, without our help. They provide our food, medicine, and are our teachers. Remember, in childhood, we learned that it is all about the birds and the bees. Hopefully, with these hives at Bruce's Garden in Inwood, we will learn something of how these challenges are affecting our environment and the bees in ways specific to the conditions in our region. Thank you, Jack Geraldine and Bruce Reynolds and the Benedetto family for clearing this land to reclaim our sacred mountaintop. Thank you, Aaron Scott, for your responsible stewardship and coordination of programming. Thank you, Andre and Natalia, for the gift of the beautiful bees. Above all, give thanks to the one totality that unifies it all. In love, peace.
Every bird its own manner and time, all things come to pass.
I'm Dana Gay from the Manahatta Peace Project. Peace on earth, for real. May we move in faith with grace to thrive and keep alive.
Sitting up